The release of a South African hip-hop artist on Friday has led to riots in Johannesburg. Molemo Maarohanye, also known as Jub Jub, was charged with the murder of 4 teenagers in a car race. He'd been granted bail. Protesters clashed with police in Soweto. Tear gas and water cannon were used to disperse the demonstrators. Jub Jub was high on cocaine and morphine when he was racing. Ayo Johnson is a specialist on African affairs. He's also the director of Viewpoint Africa, a media house that deals in news from the continent. He joins me now from London. Ayo, first of all, tell me more about who Jub Jub is.
Jub Jub is a superstar. He's well known in South Africa. He's developed this acclimate as being the main man, and large numbers of youths in South Africa support him, enjoy his music, and he's very, very well known.
This is a strange story, though, isn't it, Ayo? I mean, he was released on bail on the most incredibly serious charges. How did that happen?
Well, it's quite strange that should happen. This is what has angered the community, because they assume that it's one justice for a man like Job, who's clearly famous, popular, got a lot of money, he's got a lot of influence. And for the common South African who does not actually benefit from some of the things I've just mentioned, has a different justice altogether. So some of the riots that we've seen are a ramification and a reflection of the anger. People feel that there's inconsistencies in the justice system, which goes back to the government. And it would appear that, at least in this case, it's going to be extremely difficult to see how celebs can buy their way out of trouble. And in this case, when we've got 4 deaths on his hand, and very much when he's been under the influence of cocaine and other drugs. And as we know, these drugs stay longer in the body, they affect your judgment, impair your decision making, and in this particular case it would appear that it's affecting quite seriously.
So he really lit the blue touch paper when he was released on bail, and basically what people, when they were rioting, were demonstrating against social inequalities.
Absolutely. Poverty is a major problem in South Africa, but more so in this township. In Soweto is one of the poorest areas in South Africa. Poverty, inequality, justice, access to jobs, disillusioned youths. Large numbers of youths have a lot of time on their hands, and it's a major problem for the government, because Zuma and the ANC came with a pledge. The pledge was to rid off poverty, to bring ownership back to the people, which is what the ANC manifesto clearly states. And it would appear that at least they've not been able to achieve that. With all the problems they've got in South Africa, it sends the wrong messages, I would have thought.
And indeed, it would seem that the ANC have lost touch with the grassroots in that case, especially young people.
Very much so. It's been a major problem for the ANC over the last several years. They've tried to address the poverty issue across the townships. The expectations that was expected when the ANC came into power from the people was so much so, and they couldn't deliver on that. The communities are very, very upset, and it would appear that Zuma and the ANC have to go back to their manifesto and start delivering on what they promised.
Ayo Johnson, thanks for joining us from London. It's been 7 years now since the invasion of Iraq. While US forces are still in the country, they have moved